Hey, this is Mike from Intro Stars, and this week we're super excited to bring you a brand new episode of the Super Connectors podcast with a very special VIP guest, Antonia the Super Connector. Hey, Antonia.
Hi, Mike. Very nice to be here. Thank you for inviting me.
Such a pleasure to have you. So, Antonia, can you tell us a bit more about yourself, what it means for you to be a Super Connector?
Sure. My name is Antonia, and I am one of the founder and director at ENOWA SKINCARE, where we bring awareness around natural skincare ingredients. And also I work and collaborate with Nevcap, which is a business accelerator program where we connect with funders and we clarify, we help them to clarify their vision, mission, and values. So for me to connect with people, it means that bring people and business together. And I've always done that all my life, I think, introducing people, connecting, obviously with the mission or purpose of helping that person. So for me, it's a very cool things to, and nowadays I think it's very important to, as I am a human person, so I think connect with people is really bringing me alive.
So when did you start connecting people? Was there a special pivotal moment where you thought, oh, I need to connect more people, I love doing this,
Sure.
I'm becoming a super connector? Like, when did that pivot happen?
That happened during the pandemic.
Okay.
Where I had a chance to stay inward, within myself, so indoor without going anywhere. Yeah. And at the time I was working for a breath app, which I connected, I think that time I made around 1,000 Zoom call with all different teachers, breathwork teachers from around the world. Yep. So I think that moment I really start to really feel that connection. Obviously it wasn't in person, it was, through a screen, but still I felt that, human connection with people. And for me, that journey, it really embraced, who I was, and so I embraced that connection. So for me, it was during the pandemic.
And what kind of introductions do you typically make? Is it typically startup founders, coaches, individuals, for jobs, partnerships? Like, what kind of introductions do you enjoy making, or what is your typical introduction?
The introduction I love to make is when I see that through that introduction, through that connection, people start to collaborate. So start to do business together. And I've seen that, just simply, for example, if someone is asking me questions, right? My mind is still, immediately I connect the dots and see, okay, that person, maybe that person needs that, that job, or maybe a place or location, whatever, So my mind starts already thinking, how can I help? How can I serve that person? So immediately,
And how do you value those connections? What is your approach to networking in general?
In general, obviously technology nowadays is very, we can't avoid technology. However, I think human connection, it will always be there. So, and for me, I find that when I'm in place, in person, I feel like I have it just comes very natural to me to speak to people, introduce myself, and then obviously listen to them. And then, that's networking in person, I think is something I really love the most.
So when you talk to people, I guess, in your brain, you're already connecting the dots. Who could I introduce? Oh yeah, they're talking about this topic. I know someone else I just met. How can I introduce them? So it's something which kind of comes naturally when you become a super connector, when you start to do this over and over again. So I guess that's your experience?
Yeah, it is that experience. But I think that now that I met you and I met Introstar, I thought, wow, this is something amazing, because I think having a platform that obviously you don't have to do, it simplify, I think, the process.
I mean, that's why we built it. It's really to make the life of super connectors easier. So it's literally much more easy, more simple, straightforward to making those introductions and following up, etc. So obviously, as a super connector, you make lots of connections because you said you love to help people. You've got that natural gene to be a very people person. You love to help. But at some point, you do need to monetize somehow. Yes. So how do you walk that fine line between helping people and building long-term relationships and trust, but at the same time monetizing? How do you walk that fine line between the two?
Yeah, I think it's very important not to compromise, the relationship, because at the end of the day, if you got that intention to serve people, you don't do it for the money. You're doing it because obviously it's very natural to you. However, I think it's very important as well to be rewarded, and and which I never really thought, until probably I met you, or even the last of a year. So I said there must be a way for someone that has got that ability to naturally to connect with people, to introduce to people. Yeah. There must be a way, how can we be rewarded? Because, again, not because you're doing it for the money, but it's a skill. And I think, connectors should really be rewarded for that.
It's really about fair compensation. If you create value for other people and you help them, and thanks to you, they close a £50,000 or £100,000 deal, for you to get a reward is just fair compensation, right? It's really creating a win-win-win situation for everyone involved.
Yes.
Both for the person being introduced, the person looking for an introduction, and you as the introducer. Everyone should get rewarded. It's a win-win-win, so everyone's a winner.
Yes.
And so really it's about finding a framework for that to work, where you build trust, you build relationships, but you're also fairly compensated, right? So that's what it's all about. So how are you monetizing today? Are you ready for your own business, your day-to-day business, your different businesses?
Yeah.
How does that work for you?
I mean, I'm ready to scale that up, and obviously to monetize from it. And again, I think Introstar will definitely help. Will be the platform, for, like you said, it's a win-win. So, and I think introducing people, and again, give that value to that person, and again also to build relationship, because I think building relationship is very important.
And that's what comes first.
Yes,
it's first about relationships.
Yes,
that's the number one thing. That's the only thing that matters. 100%. Everything else is after that, right?
Yeah.
So how do you track introductions? How do you track introductions you've made or received? Do you have a system? Is it all in LinkedIn? Is it on your email? Do you have a CRM system? And how do platforms like Introstars change the game for super connectors, where every introduction is automatically tracked, both received introductions and made introductions? So how does that change the game for you or for other super connectors out there?
Yeah. I mean, what I have used in the last probably few years is social media and LinkedIn. I have generated some leads through LinkedIn, and I think it's one of the best probably platform. There might be other platform out there, but for me, it works at LinkedIn. Yeah. Also to build that relationship, very natural relationship, like, where you start, you send a message, to a person, and then you start a conversation, maybe on Zoom call, or phone, or so. And I track all the connection through also an Excel. That's, it's very easy for me to use that. But like I said, Introstar will probably speed the process and have that, track all that connection that we make. So
just make it easier, right?
Oh,
make
yes,
your life easier.
We need that. Yes,
absolutely.
Sure.
And so, what kind of trends do you see in networking and business introductions, and how do those trends, change the way you approach networking and connections?
Yeah, the networking, I would say, is evolving a lot, and especially because of the technology. However, I still believe that networking person will never be replaced, because I've seen that that change that we've seen during the pandemic. Yeah. So people will not be able to connect in person. So it was faster. Obviously, you get faster through a screen, through technology. However, I think in person is you can't replace that. But then we need Introstar. We need a platform that will speed the process. So that's what I think that will be, Introstar will make the difference.
Yeah, the two work together, of course. So I'm a strong believer in in-person networking. I love to go to networking events every day, so clearly we're on the same page here. I think in-person networking will never go away. That's still the basis for everything, building your network, building trust. But then how do you make the introduction part a bit more seamless and trackable and transparent? And I think that's where there's innovation, right? That's where we can change the game. Yeah,
that will change completely the game.
Cool.
And I think with time consuming, time is very important. So we need to really, if we can save that time to do other more connection, and then have a platform where we can actually, have an easy process, I think will be really change the game.
So do you have any advice for young people who are starting their networking journey, who are going to their first networking events, slowly starting to build their network? Like, any advice for them, tips or tricks? Like, what would you tell them?
Yeah, I will definitely say to any that they start to have in mind why they asking themselves why they're doing that, because the why, it will define everything, you know. And I also want to say something extra on that. That's, I think, as a being connector, you need to have a first connection with yourself. And I think if you do have that, then it will be much easier for you to, you know, not wasting time and to really connect to the people you really want to talk or you want to help. And so this is, yeah, I think first of all, have that intention, very clear intention, why you connect to certain people.
So your connection to yourself, meaning authenticity.
Yes.
Being authentic to yourself, not trying to pretend you're someone else, be true to yourself, and then people will feel that.
100%.
And they will trust you.
Yes, I feel that, and in any conversation I had, I always like connect, you know, to myself first before I really jump into a conversation, because people will feel that energy, you know, and if your energy is very, you know, it's got integrity, authenticity, you know, that will, yeah, it will make the difference. So I would definitely say that to anyone that start now.
Absolutely. And you know, I went to a networking event a couple of weeks ago, organized by Thomas Power.
Oh, yes.
And it was a very powerful experience where he asked every person around the table to start introducing themselves by their mistakes, errors, problems, and life issues. And so start with a position of weakness instead of strength. And that forces everyone to be authentic. And that forces everyone to look inside instead of looking outside. Instead of trying to projecting that you're the best or the king, instead of that, show yourself as vulnerable. And that was such a powerful experience. And I think lots of people could learn from that.
Oh, yes.
Going to networking events, by starting showing your weakness, not your strength, people will trust you right away.
Yeah.
And that will change the whole conversation.
Yeah.
So I love what you said about be true to yourself, you know, start with that.
100%. And I like the fact you said also when you were young, you were an introvert person. And
Yes.
I think I was the same. You know, maybe actually people, when they meet me, they feel like I'm not very outgoing. But then, you know, as obviously I get in conversation, I'm very like, you know, outgoing and start to, you know, especially if the subject interests me. Yeah, then 100% I am.
Exactly. You know, so from an introvert, shy kid, you can become a super connector, a super networker. You know, the door is available to everyone, right?
Yes.
Just go through that path.
Yes.
Great. So what are you working on today? Where can people find you, follow your adventures, meet up with you?
Like I said, one of the social media I really use is LinkedIn, so people can find me on LinkedIn for sure. Yeah.
Yeah. And what are you working on right now? What's your number one priority right now for the next couple of months?
The next couple of months is obviously build more my ENOWA skincare.
Yeah.
So that's, you know, again, it's all about around bring awareness of natural ingredients. So, and go back to the roots, basically. So, and again, because for me, wellness is everything, you know, it's very important. And then also with Nevcap, so we got a very good mission in the new year to actually attend more events. That's my role, to be, you know, connected to more funders, investors. So yeah, I'm looking forward for that 2025.
Amazing.
Yeah.
And keep on being a super connector. Keep on connecting lots of people, going to lots of networking events.
Thank you.
Cool. I'm looking forward to it. Like, I can't wait to see as many more networking events.
Thank you.
No, let's make some introductions to each other, to all the people we meet.
Yeah, and I'd love to really get to know more Introstar and be one of the member. And yeah, for sure.
Perfect. No, thank you so much for joining our community of super connectors. So really enjoyed our conversation today, Antonia. Thank you so much
Mike.
for your pearls of wisdom. And so I hope to see you very soon, lots of events.
Yeah.
And thanks again.
Thank
Have a great day.
Thank you, Mike.